Greetings, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Living on Music. I'm Steve Hauk, and if you look behind me, I always have a venue back there, and this is Club Cafe in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, place that I spent a lot of time in the late 80s and 90s. What a wonderful city and wonderful place. And my guest tonight is the one and only Melissa Quinn Fox. And Melissa is from Pittsburgh, Washington, D.C. area musician now. And boy, is she on fire right now with what she is doing. Since 2021, she has released 8 singles, all wonderful songs. You're going to hear a bunch of clips of those tonight, and she's even going to play one of them that came out recently for us on the show. But she also, this culminated, she also won a Wammie, Washington Area Music Award in this year. I was at the awards because I was up for a media award for Living on Music, and I believe I heard her name and said, yeah, that she's probably amazing. I'd like to interview her one day. Well, here we go. And an amazing lady, has played over 150 live shows over the last couple of years, has been playing music for many, many years. And we'll talk about her influences and her early life playing. But boy, is she on a roll. And I just tell you, when I look online, either on Instagram, Facebook, whatever social media platforms there are, and there is Melissa playing gigs all the time. And we'll talk about what it's like to really go crazy with playing live gigs and also not playing any for a while because of the pandemic. We're going to be talking again about her new singles. She's got 2 unreleased ones. We'll play a little bit of a clip from. Can't wait to hear those too. And again, she was quoted as saying once in 2023, her goals are to record and release more music and probably play and collaborate and go on, play local and national festivals. This is really great. I am so excited. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm Living on Music welcome to Melissa Quinn Fox. Melissa Quinn Fox, welcome to Living on Music.
Thank you so much. How you doing?
Oh, I'm great. And we've been talking for a while, and it's been so wonderful to finally see you and have you here on Living on Music. It has been an incredible run for me as I've been prepping for this show to look at what you have been doing, not only through your life musically, but boy, in the last 2 years. I love the quote that, you said so many amazing things have happened this year. Talk a little bit about, how you got through, right? You started let's talk about right now. You have rigorous touring. I just love it. And it must feel wonderful to kind of get out there after a bit of a time of none of that, isn't it? And you're playing right here behind me at the Club Cafe in your own town, your own Pittsburgh. And it'll already be when we air this show. But talk a little bit about what it feels like to be out playing, because you're playing a lot.
It feels amazing. Everybody during COVID had to kind of shut it down and just work from home and, write songs and do some live Zooms, live performances on Facebook. But for me, it was a time to really look at what I wanted to do with my music, because I was singing with other bands in the area. I've been singing. I've always done like acoustic stuff on my own. But then I just decided, I thought about it before COVID too. I was like, I'm just ready to have my own band backing me, playing my own music, but then all the covers that I love too. So I really took that time during COVID to just evaluate that, what I wanted to do. And I started auditioning musicians actually.
Right. I mean, it's incredible after the last 2.5 years of doing Living on Music with a whole number of people that in this region musically community, as well as musicians from around the world. I've really learned about what people have done. And a lot of you especially, you really seem to blossom as something you wanted to have happen. It's almost like the pandemic was I can't say it was a positive thing, but it was a chance for you to take stock, and then look what you did. You released 8 songs since the beginning of that, since the 2021, really, but 9
actually.
Oh, just fantastic. 9. I missed 1. But it's fantastic to see that. And I love the fact that 2022 I was at the Wammies because I was nominated for this media award for Living on Music there. And I believe, and I'm 99% sure, I remember seeing you win and seeing, and I'm like, wait a minute, I have to talk to her about doing Living on Music. But that had to feel wonderful for back there.
It was incredible because I wrote all these songs over the past, 15 years or so. And life takes you certain places. I moved around, I worked day jobs, I traveled, and I just kind of put that on the back burner of putting my own music out there, whether I wasn't ready to do that. I didn't have the right connections yet. And 2021, like 2020, like I met some great people and just got some inspiration, and I just started releasing my own music. And to actually be recognized as a songwriter for, to win Best Song for Country and Americana Song was incredible.
Oh, it's
I have a Wammie up here on the.
See it. There it is.
So I have to have it like here on display. So it's definitely an honor, and I'm really, just honored to have won that.
Oh, it was wonderful, and I love the fact that you got together with another guest that I've had on and I've gotten to know quite well, Todd Wright, who's just, and he is just something special. How did you guys end up getting together and starting to begin to do music together during the last couple of years?
Well, I met him I heard of him through a former band member of mine. He knew that I was looking to collaborate with other songwriters.
Right.
So he connected me with Todd. I reached out to him, and he has his Half King Music, they're the business, and he takes on songwriters and helps develop them. And, him and his daughter, they're both so talented. So He really opened up so much, opportunity for me to revise songs I wrote, and I wrote some new songs with him. So I'm actually releasing like an EP this coming Friday as well of the 5 songs that I did with him so far. So self-titled EP. So Todd's amazing. He's so talented, and I wouldn't be like where I am now if I wouldn't have met him. So
I love that. I was going to ask you that because you have like 8 or 9 songs, and this day and age for albums and stuff, it's a little tougher for people to pick up I'm still a vinyl fan at 61 years old.
Yeah.
But it's wonderful that you're going to collaborate with him on that. You also worked with PT Houston, right?
Yeah, there's a great studio down in Franklin, Tennessee called Off the Road Studio, and they actually reached out to me through Instagram looking for new artists, and they have a great program. So I drove down there 2 Augusts ago and recorded 4 of my originals, all in like 2 days. So it was really, really fast, but they have world-class musicians, play at the Opry. They bring them all in the studio, and then it all happens in like a couple days, and that was awesome. And then I went back again this August and did a new song called Slow Down that I actually revised and rewrote it with Todd, but then took it down to Off the Road to record. So that's all finished. That should be coming out in February, I believe. And then I have another one with Todd coming out. So it's like there's just so much music everywhere, and I'm trying to get it out there, and I just kind of been making up for lost time, I guess.
Yeah. That's what it seems. You've capitalized on a time where again, a lot of the musicians that I've talked to on the show did find ways to succeed, or at least do some things because they were put in a situation like that. We're gonna play a little bit of a song that won you the Wammie. This is wonderful. A wonderful song. I think PT produced this, right? With you. And so let's go, you guys, to a little bit of the sound of this wonderful lady. And here we go with a little bit of Back There.
Well, I don't know how to make things right. All I know is I don't want to fight. When I look at you, I just want to kiss you. And I don't know how we got to here after giving you all of my love all these years. I don't know who you are. Damn, baby, I miss you. I wanna go back to the way it used to be.
Yeah, I love that song. I love your voice. I think you've
Thank
got
you.
something very special going forward, and the fact that your music, your songwriting, is just surging right now is wonderful. I love the fact that you also opened for some wonderful artists. One was on Living on Music, Sam Grow, and some other amazing people. Played some festivals. I mean, Melissa, again, you have to feel wonderful, like surging out of this entire thing then this year with music and touring.
It started off with, winning the Wammie and just kind of
Right.
just spiraled. The ball was rolling, and I'm a big believer in positive thinking, positive energy, feeling good, putting it out there, like wanting the best for everyone, and then just hopefully it comes back to you. So I just really just feel great about this year.
That's wonderful. And, again, looking a little bit back into your life, going back to the beginning in beautiful Pittsburgh, again, where I spent a wonderful amount of time for 10 or so years, where the rivers meet, and going there and having a wonderful, it's a very, what's the name of that? There's that elevated cart.
The incline.
Yes,
Yeah.
the incline.
Incline.
And I remember doing all that, but born, in Pittsburgh, you grew up in the South Hills. Wonderful Slovak, Croatian, Irish, German heritage. That is wonderful. Where did that all begin? Grandparents and people in your family. That's how does that work on both sides?
My mom's Slovak and Croatian. Her side grew up like in the south side of Pittsburgh, which is actually where Cafe is. So it's really exciting to be going back there in the area where my family grew up.
Oh.
And my dad's side is Irish, German, a little Polish, from Bridgeville, which is still like the South Hills. But they can both come from big families, so lots of cousins and second cousins. And I love going back. I make an effort to like play shows back there, try to do it every month just to see friends and family.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, it seems like a really, really neat family. Your parents are still together.
They are, yes.
That is fabulous to begin with in this day and age. And
6 years.
oh, that's fabulous. Yeah, my parents were married for about 46 years before they both passed, 3 weeks apart, about 18 years ago. I miss them. I'm so glad you still have your folks.
Yeah.
Second oldest of 4 girls. You said you're been doing some research. You're the only person that really plays music or sings, but your parents, which is such a wonderful thing. My parents influenced my musical love and everything. Your dad especially had a love for music.
Oh yeah, he's the guy that will just spout off artists when we're driving in the car for me to pull up over Spotify, or like at the Thanksgiving dinner table. Like my sister always set up the speaker, and then he thinks Spotify is the coolest thing ever. Just pull up any song at any time. Yeah, he asks Alexa, like at his house, we set that up to play anything. But he just loves Chicago, Steely Dan.
Yes,
There's just some. I couldn't even tell you all the artists. And yeah, I definitely got my love for music from him and from singing in church. I just loved the music in church growing up. My grandma used to sing Jesus Loves Me. And I just really started my love for music that way.
Oh, I love that. And boy, me and your dad will get along. My first concert ever was in 1976, Chicago. And then have loved for 40 years. Just saw Steely Dan at Wolf Trap, and Donald did an amazing job still. So that's wonderful. That's neat that music would help influence you, as you said it in the choir in the church. And I'm telling you, that is also a common thing where it just began. I've just interviewed Peter Noon of Herman's Hermits, and he also began singing, although he was a little bit kind of acting in church, and his grandmother ended up saying, "No, you can't come in here and sing." But I love that began it. In the early to mid 90s, you had a show choir. What started, it seemed, was performing, and I loved that. It seemed that you got a scholarship for musical theater, which is wonderful. So it seems like that was also a possibility, as well as what you've done and what you're doing so wonderfully now, is to be kind of a musical theater performer. What was that something that you wanted to do longer and through life?
Well, I was always doing plays and musicals, as well as the church choir. So just being on stage performing, I took dance as a child too. So I just always loved performing one way or the other. In high school, I did the musicals, show choir, and then I applied to get into Point Park University and got like a scholarship, and wanted to stay close to my family. So it was an amazing opportunity to do that. I took acting, dance, and all, tap, jazz, ballet, stagecraft, voice and speech, private voice, piano. So it was incredible. But during that time was really when I realized, like, I don't want to be a Broadway star. I don't want to chase that avenue, that dream. I wanted to be a singer songwriter. So I was in, studying musical theater. I was like, well, I'm going to finish. I'm going to get everything I can out of this degree and then see what happens next. So
Right.
after I actually got some opportunities through Point Park to get some performance jobs at theme parks. So
yes,
yeah.
I love the pictures. There's one, and I think I had gotten the photos before I had looked up what was going on, and you're jumping up and like kicking like this guy, and I'm like, wow, is she acting?
Yeah,
that is wild.
Yeah, I worked at Old Tucson Studios. That was probably my favorite place, and they filmed a lot of John Wayne movies there and different movies. But I jumped off of buildings on a slack rope. I did, we handled guns with like, blanks or empty guns. We did can shows, a Christmas show, a Halloween show, old Western show. It was amazing. But I also got to go to Germany to work. I went to Texas. I went to New Hampshire, Pennsylvania. So, all that really shaped me as a performer, I think, on stage.
Yes.
When I'm up there, I just kind of draw back to that, that type of performing where I had to like, play to the whole audience. I had to like keep them interested. It's just, so I just kind of feel like that. I don't have stage fright because of a lot of the things that I've been through like that. Like this is makes me more nervous than, but
I know I know I erupt nervousness in people. No, I'm teasing you. Yes. And what's funny is my mother was an actress. She was Yale trained and did dozens of plays when I was a child. So I have a big thing for theater, and I love the fact that you were doing that. About 2 years of the theme park stuff, and you came back to Pittsburgh and you started working on songs and started performing. That seems like the turning point where you, as you just said, you played the club cafe back then.
Yeah.
Which has, as you said, it has its new wall. Right over there. But you started performing, and that seemed to be, you even recorded an EP, but never released it. Are those songs sitting back in your vault?
No, actually, I think 4 of those songs I already re-released with these 2 different producers. So yeah, maybe I'll let you listen to that someday. It was recorded at a studio in Pittsburgh, and I kind of ran out of funds, and but it was a cool experience my first recording studio experience. And I still have like some copies of that, but the quality isn't the best, but it really was just always in the back of my mind, like I need to get back in the studio. I need to re-release these songs. And, I'm a songwriter. I can't put that on the back burner anymore. I want to live my truth and like who I am. So that's really exciting to be able to do that the past couple of years.
Absolutely. The songwriting began though back then, right? And how did it why did it begin? It was just something that was going on in your head. I mean, you had music churning in your soul. Songwriting's a major thing.
I think I just really connected to so many songs by so many artists and bands. Just the story, and like Fleetwood Mac, like it's one of my favorite bands. But just I just love those songs with those lyrics that touched you. That you're like, I'm going through that right now. I just always wanted to write great songs, so I just was always jotting down, little thoughts, little feelings, just to try to put it all together. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to write something great. Just wanted to put my own feelings out there.
You are. I mean, again, I know all these songs now, and I'm every one is like another emotional adventure, a story. This is how I feel. I love what you're doing, and it seemed to again get rolling back then at 29. So like around May of 2010, Outer Banks. What was the move to Outer Banks generated for?
I just was ready for a change, and I had a friend that I knew from grade school actually that was going down there every summer to work at a restaurant and then also perform when he found opportunities. So I found 2 weekly opportunities to play music. I was playing at the Ocean Boulevard, I believe it was called, and a resort up in Crawla Light, and I was working at a restaurant in Crawla. Wow. So I was working like every single day, either at a restaurant or doing live shows, and it was amazing to live at the beach. The Outer Banks are gorgeous.
Oh, they are.
I had like 3 good months there. Then after that, I found my way to Washington, D.C. So it was a turning point, either back to Pittsburgh or try out a new city. And I was just ready to try out a new city, and I'm really glad I did.
Oh, so are we all. And that is a wonderful move. DC is quite the incredible musical location, and the community that I've gotten to know so much more than I already did, although I was aware of these people. What a great part of that you are now, and what a great move you made. You came here between the fall of 2010, spring of 2014. You had a couple of bands. You had the Melissa Quinn duo. You have any relatives in Connecticut by any chance?
Not that I know of. No.
It's a common name, I guess, but I grew up with a number of Quinns in my high school.
Okay.
So yeah, they're wonderful people too. So you had your duo, your trio. In 2013, you met Stephen Fox, and I love the name Steve. Why wouldn't I? But I love the PHEN, because people are like, "Well, it's Stefan," and I'm like, "No, it's Stephen." But that's wonderful. You met. He was then in what at that point? Militarily.
He was a major in the Army, Special Forces, Green Beret. So he was working here through an agency. He was living in Tyson's. I was living in Southwest and down on G Street Southwest. I had a couple roommates, and I was working a day job, sales job, and doing music at night. And I was single. He was single. We met up after a baseball game, after a Nats game down in the restaurant. We had a mutual friend. We just met up, and it was just like, kismet. Like, it was just amazing. We just both just kind of knew right away.
Wow. Love at first sight in some way. Isn't that beautiful? And 9 months later, you engaged.
Yeah, we were engaged. Yep. And I have a gypsy soul, and I'm always like looking to travel, and I love living other places. So, I mean, I was so ready to get it. I was ready to take that step and start a life with him. So I went up to Newport, Rhode Island for a few months, because he was up there for a while we were dating, getting his master's.
Yeah.
I went up there for a couple months, took it easy, and then we moved to Florida, Destin, Florida, for 2 years.
Yes, my daughter lives in Port St. Joe with her mom down there. So Destin is a beautiful place. That'd be kind of another neat place to kind of go. Speaking of beach and all that.
Oh, it's my favorite beach, I think. I'd say the book Gulf of Mexico, and it's kind of like a little, not everybody knows about it, and so it's not overpopulated all the time. So it's really nice to go on vacation.
It is beautiful. We used to go down to Mexico Beach and stay in a house that was destroyed by Hurricane Michael that year. I mean, whoa, that was devastating. At least my daughter wasn't harmed. But Destin is a beautiful place. You continued, right, while you're down there to write songs, perform acoustically, and you had a house band at a venue, right, on the harbor.
I got an opportunity to be the lead singer of a house band at one of the big new venues right there on the Destin Harbor Walk. So that was a blast. Just open air, top floor of this place, and just it was rocking 3 nights a week, 3 nights in a row. It was a blast. So
wow, no, that's wonderful. What a neat thing to again perpetuate your musical journey. I love that. In 2016, about 6 years ago, you returned to DC. Lived, I guess it was in Fort Washington, Maryland for a few years, and then Alexandria. And you just moved to Purcellville, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
I fell in love with Loudoun County from just playing out here. So many shows, all the wineries and breweries, is gorgeous. I love Leesburg. I just love this area. So we found a nice place in Purcellville. So that's where we are now.
Yes. As 868 Vineyards. Isn't that in Purcellville? I just performed at the Cancer Can Rock event and emceed that a couple of times at 868. It's an amazing thing, an amazing place. Well, that makes complete sense. And, there was also a couple of local bands that you became and sang with, Justified, Whiskey Business. I love that.
Yeah.
People had to love that. Especially one of my favorite movies is Risky Business, but that's a wonderful name. And then there was a band called Rowdy Ace. How did those evolve? How did those bands, how did you get together with those folks to play in those bands?
Probably every single one was through Craigslist. I was just looking so I had my own band back in Pittsburgh, like we talked about. But when I moved to DC, it was just kind of like, bigger market, and I just wasn't really ready to have my own backing band. So I had my own little acoustic duo, trio, but I was like, I want to get up there and perform. I was just craving this limelight, the stage.
Right.
And so I was always on Craigslist looking for bands, looking for singers. So there was two before that. Sound Policy and Light Fuse Getaway were two bands I was in before I met my husband. And then when we came back, I was in Justified. And so, yeah, I think I found them through Craigslist looking for a singer. And then Justified kind of like, I met the guys from Rowdy Ace through them and played with them for a while. And I was also got involved with Whiskey Business, who was looking for a singer, and they were doing like a lot of rock and pop, not as much country. Rowdy Ace was more country. So it was kind of, I was getting a little of everything, which was great. And I had a great time playing all these venues, meeting great people. I was just was ready to just, hone it into just my songs and focus on because I was kind of spreading myself, doing a lot of things at one time, which is great, but I was just ready in my heart. I was just ready to be like, here's my songs. I need to put them out in the world and see what, people think. And hopefully people can connect with them. So I'm really excited to where I am now. All that led me here. So, I'm grateful for all those bands I was in, all those opportunities that I have. So.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, they are, for people who end up going kind of on their own journey after playing with it gives everybody a chance to just play, kind of get a sense of music in one way or the other. Let's go back 3 years before we jump into the current stuff, which I can't wait to share some of that with these folks. This is from 2019 at the Lost Rhino, which that place is classic. Been there. This is a Brooks and Dunn song done by Rowdy Ace. So this is before you've really jumped into the Melissa Quinn Fox world, which you're going to be in, I think, for a long time doing that. Here's a little bit of Neon Moon.
I've been too long, lovers, for a while to stay. Close my eyes and sometimes see you in a shadow. Oh, let's go feel blue. No telling how many tears I sat here and cried. How many lies did I lie to my poor heart? Looking like something. Oh, my ego lies. Long as it's light from neon moon. If you lose your world lonely, flowing through you more lonely. To watch a broken dream live in our dream of neon moon.
I love it. That shows your talent with a band back then. And it just shows the way you seem to have just wonderfully developed over the years. And then boom, the last 2 years, we talked about at the beginning, incredible. Every time I've been getting ready for this interview, I've looked on, every conceivable social media. I'm like, she's playing again. She's playing again. I mean, it's just incredible. The sense of the live music to you must be one of the most special things you do in life.
Yeah, it just having that connection with the audience. It's it's a job, but it's like a dream job. Like, it's not work to me. Like, it's just something I wake up every day and look forward to it every week. And I just can't wait for the next time to just have a connection with an audience. So
I've been singing in a rock band for 17 years, and we are reuniting in February for the first time since the pandemic. We also lost our guitarist, Bob, last year to cancer. And so this is, talk about excited to get up. We're playing in Springfield at Lafayette. I mean, I love it. I've only been doing it for about 16 years. I started when I was 46, and it's been the most incredible experience of my life, let alone somebody like you who, and most 99% of the guests, 100% start early. 2022. Let's go, you guys, to another live bit of Melissa Quinn Fox. This is wonderful. This is at Cedar Run. It is a Mary Chapin Carpenter song, which she's so beloved.
I love her. Yeah.
Wow. Beloved around here, as you certainly well know. And what song is this that we're going to hear?
He thinks he'll keep her. Yeah.
Thinks he'll keep. That's what I thought it was. But all right, you guys, let's go a little live Melissa Quinn Fox for a little. What was the title?
He thinks he'll keep her.
Let's do it.
Everything
Yeah, that's what I've loved, Melissa, is again, in preparing for our ride here, is watching you live, because there is that kind of sense of something going on up there. And that's, I can see you because you were jumping around in, in theme parks, and and you really have a feel on stage, and that must be wonderful too.
Thank you. Yeah, I just in my bones, I think. So I just kind of, I'm always looking for ways to improve, have more energy and stuff, but you want to have just the right amount. So that's why I try to strive to just I just love to get people engaged and get them, thinking about something happy or, emotion, to take them out of their daily lives. So that's kind of like, I just want people to have a great time at our shows.
I love that. And that's a commonality of great songwriters. I just had Carla Bonoff on last week.
Yeah.
Speaking of people who've written some pretty good songs, and she said the same thing. She loved to engage people, tell stories, do things. And you just have picked up and run with that beautifully. Speaking of that, for all the Melissa Quinn Fox fans that hopefully are joining us for this show, you have a couple of songs, one due in January. And before we have you perform one of your recent releases with a duo partner of sorts, I can't wait to hear that. Here's a couple of new songs. Now, you've got one produced by Todd and one produced by PT. So those guys, again, seem to have been a wonderful force to get you rolling, right?
Absolutely. I'm so lucky.
Yeah, that's great. And they're both amazing. I bet. First little clip of the song, world premiere, possibly. And I love doing that. This is a song that you wrote called Crime. What was the background on coming up with Crime?
Well, they usually write songs about people I've dated, but it was kind of about a situation where I dated a bad boy type of a guy. So it was just kind of got this idea, like this would be a really cute way, cute story to tell, like about how you feel like somebody, it should be criminal the way that they love you, just so it was just kind of, it's kind of how I went with that.
I love that. Well, you're not alone, I'm sure. And women who write songs or don't write songs probably have those guys come in. But again, what a wonderful thing to write in a song and talk about. Here we go. Song produced by the one and only Todd Wright and also Melissa. This is A Little Bit of Crime.
The way you love should be a crime, a misdemeanor or a felony. My heart's locked up and doing time. They always thought you get the best of me, and I believed your alibis. When I looked in your eyes, you got me crossing lines. Your love should be crime. Should charge you with a hit and run. Feels like a truck ran over me. You said I was the one, so my heart there was a robbery. But I would do it all again, and I never turn you in. Say the blame was mine.
I love it. The new songs are phenomenal. It seems like you're just surging with these songs. And we've got another one with PT Houston that you did in Kentucky, right? And
South of Nashville and Franklin, yeah.
Right. And that's fabulous. And this is a song called Slow Down. What was behind Slow Down?
I wrote this one pretty early on, one of my first songs, just about having a crush on somebody and it like really taking over your thoughts and feelings and just being like, okay, just hold off, you don't know where this is going, which I did a lot in my early life, so I was always falling hard for guys. So
right.
Yeah, kind of like just talking to yourself, being like, okay, slow down. Everybody can see you're getting crazy over them. So I'm really glad that I resurrected the song and I revised it with Todd. Actually, like we rewrote it together, parts of it, and then took it down to PT and Off the Road Studio in Franklin, Tennessee, and recorded it with their fantastic musicians. So I'm really excited to release this one in February.
Oh yes, it comes out in February, and you know, it's a pretty wonderfully bold and honest thing for you to be, you know, kind of open about your life when you're writing songs and giving people that. That seems to be another thing, is you're sharing it because they might get a sense of what you went through or what you were good and what was tough, and they might be able to do something on their own life with that, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of people have reached out to me with like different songs, like Walk Away, or different songs that are, they're like, I'm going through that same situation. So that means more to me than anything, just to have somebody reach out and say they connect with it. So
I love that. Well, let's go to a song again, rewritten together with Todd after being written for years ago by Melissa, and a little bit of Slow Down.
I wasn't looking this time, I swear, but you came running in from nowhere, hit my heart, and I didn't even care. It's been so long since it felt so new, waiting forever for someone like you, out of the dark, something beautiful and true. Making me crazy, calling me baby, making me smile when you're not around. Slow down, I know I gotta slow down.
Yeah, Melissa, that really does continue to show the strength of what you're doing. And congratulations on all these wonderful songs, including this one with that guy there, Jimmy Cherry. Welcome to Living on Music, man.
take care, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
How you doing? I love the fact that you're going to join Melissa here. Melissa, this is a wonderful song, recently released, I think around mid-August, right?
I should know this. I think, yes, I think it was.
I think it was 8/19/22. I just guessed. No, but yeah, I think it was around there. Where did Dear Self-Doubt come from? What was the origin of that song?
I think just kind of what everybody struggles with, that inner voice that can creep in your ear and tell you, you know, here and there that you're not good enough, you're not doing it right, you're not smart enough, you know, that's kind of like, I think everybody deals with that. So, I mean, I certainly have. I think that's part of one of the reasons that it took me so long to release my music, is because I just kind of was like, oh, maybe no one wants to hear it. Like, they're not going to like it, you know, just kind of like that, just coming to terms with that and realizing that's not true, you know. So the truth is, like, you have something to show, you know, give to the world, so why not try? So it's kind of where it came from.
Oh, I love that. Well, you guys, this is one amazing way to close this fabulous ride with Melissa. Here we go with Melissa, accompanied by Jimmy Cherry, and a little bit of Dear Self-Doubt.
Dear Self-Doubt, here's a letter I've been being sent to help me out. Been rent free in my head, with your white lies and your bullshit, for the good times that you wasted. Gonna take you out behind the woodshed and put you down. I've got it going on, you did wrong about this girl. I'll do what it takes, you ain't gonna shake my world. What you don't know is I won't quit, and I won't stop, cause I want this. I ain't gonna let your head put me down. Dear Self-Doubt, you're not welcome here anymore. I found you out. Pack the shit and find the door. It's a damn shame I believed you, cause I woke up seeing the truth. I'm done thinking I need you to hang around. Yeah, I've got it going on, you did wrong about this girl. I do what it takes, you ain't gonna shake my world. But you don't
know, 'cause I won't break and I won't get in my own way. I ain't gonna let your hate pull me down, tear yourself down. Yeah. With your white lies and your bullshit for the good times that you wasted. Gonna take it out behind the woodshed and put you down. I've got it going on, you tell all about this girl. I'll do what it takes, you're gonna save my world. But you don't know, 'cause I won't break and I won't get in my own way. I ain't gonna let your hate pull me down. No, I ain't gonna let your hate pull me down. No, I ain't gonna let your hate pull me down. Tear yourself down. Tear yourself down. Here's a letter I've been meaning to send. Good job.
You know, I got to tell you, and you know, I don't say what I don't mean, and I don't blow smoke. That could be my favorite song of yours right now.
Oh,
I just love I mean, I'm sitting over here like this, you know, and I'm going, wow, you know, that is wonderful stuff. Melissa Quinn Fox, this has been a great ride. Thanks so much for taking this ride on Living on Music with me.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was wonderful, Jimmy Cherry. What a bonus to have you on. I'd like to keep in touch with you and your songwriting, and let's do that as we go along. But Melissa, keep in touch. I love the fact that you're surging here with music, and good luck with playing out there. Good luck with your songwriting, and keep in touch.
Thanks so much, Steve.
My
Take
pleasure.
care.
My
See you
pleasure.
soon. Bye.
That's an amazing lady, and she's gonna keep surging forward in her musical world, and I just loved it. Melissa, thanks so much for being on Living on Music with me. I can't wait to hear about what's going to go on in 2023. You're on such a roll with the singles released, 8 in the last year and a half or so, and we will hopefully keep in close touch. Everybody, if you are a Living on Music member of the Living on Music Nation, fantastic. If you're not, go here, the Facebook page, Living on Music with Steve Houck on Facebook, and join. We've got close to 1,200 members and surging, and I love it. A lot going on, a lot of posting. You're going to see amazing photographs, amazing clips of bands and artists, and it's just a wonderful ride on Living on Music. I am so happy. We are still rocking for 2.5 years. And you can also join the YouTube page. That would be wonderful to subscribe, because the more subscribers, the more perks we get as we're going along with things to do with the channel. And that's Living on Music with Steve Houck on YouTube. There's also a part of a playlist. There's a playlist on Living on Music on YouTube, and it's called the Living on Music Excerpts. And they're little clips, sometimes 2 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes, but short clips from some of my incredible artists talking about, like Jim McCarty, the drummer from the Yardbirds, talking about sitting there behind the drums when he was younger in the Yardbirds and watching Eric Clapton, Jeff Beck, and Jimmy Page play in different groups. Rarely all three of them together, because Jimmy had left, or Eric had left. But amazing, amazing stories. And Deborah Bonham talking about her amazing brother, John Bonham, and how he influenced her music life. Rick Wakeman talking about Yes albums that he made, and the very, very kind of argumentative Yes band that was putting together Tales from Topographic Ocean, and they finally got it together, and look at it, amazing record. But those are part of the excerpts on YouTube. Also, if you're a podcaster and you love podcasts, you can go to my Spreaker base right here, and you see the episodes we have on podcasts for the last 3 or 4 months, and also the podcast on the right. You just click on one of those, and you'll go to Living on Music on those different platforms, or whatever one you like. Just search for Living on Music with Steve Houck, and there you will go, and you can podcast all of these. But again, Living on Music has been going for 2.5 years. And what we're going to start doing for the first time is getting contributions from people and trying to keep this going. It's been a largely pro bono, pretty much completely pro bono effort for the last 2.5 years for me. And Some editors I had before, and now my editor for the last year, Todd Jones, dear friend, and also an incredible musician. He's on Living on Music. You can see him on YouTube on a show talking about his musical life. But just trying to turn the corner a little bit. And as the pandemic, which is still beating people up, I have dear friends that are going through COVID right now. But again, trying to come out of it in a certain way. And one way is to get some contributions. So we're going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks, few weeks, with some contribution levels. Already have one wonderful contribution from the amazing Trisha Wardino. She's my golden ticket contributor on Living on Music, and the first person to contribute. And thank you so much, Trisha, for that. And we keep in touch on music and things like that. And I love the fact that we're beginning that way. I will come out soon with some specifics there. And you can contribute whatever you're able. That would be wonderful. And we can keep going and then see if advertising and sponsorships come through, because it was very difficult and impossible to do it during the pandemic. But I did the show to let musicians engage, have some fun, talk about their past, present, and future, and also, again, remember their triumphs, their big moments in their lives, their challenges. It's been an incredible run, and we're not anytime closed on this. Can it keep rocking? We'll have more information on the contributing. Anyway, please stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy. Happy holidays. This show will likely air in January, so it will be the end of the holidays, but wishing everybody the best in 2023 and a happy new year. And don't forget, if you ever have anything bothering you, or you just want to feel engaged or feel happy, go to Living on Music and keep living on music.